This is Chris before her makeover. And this is Chris after her makeover. How did we get here? Let's find out today on The Beauty Shaman. I started out with the Truth Trifecta, which is a mixture of sea serum, hyaluronic acid, and biomimetic mist from Truth Treatments. This immediately plumps up her skin and gives it tons of nutrients. Then I put a little Jane Iredale primer on her skin just to keep the makeup on. Her skin is quite dewy. She has not oily skin, but it's quite dewy, so I wanted the makeup to last. Here is a foundation. This is Ben Nye. This is actually a matte foundation, but it's nice and creamy, and I make it so it's a little bit more sheer on the skin. I like to have a sheer to medium coverage on older skin. I do not like full coverage, and so I lightly apply it with the brush and use my fingers to just blend it in gently into the skin. After I'm done with that, I start with some concealer. So this is a MAC concealer. I'm just going to blend NW25, and I'm sorry my hand is a bit in the way here. I'm going to blend this into her eyelid and on the corners of her eyes. On the inner corner and the outer corner, she has some darkness. So I'm just lightly blending that in. I use my fingers quite a bit. I will do better in the future that this shot is a bit clearer. After that, I put a little bit of powder all over the top, just lightly. And as you can see, it just matted out her complexion and took out some of that darkness. This is a sienna brow pencil, and I just go according to the direction of her eyebrow hairs, and I follow the natural graduated line of her brows. They're a nice shape, so I just gently fill them in and extend it a little bit. The number one change you can make to your face is to fill in your eyebrows. It helps to balance out your face and so that you can wear a darker lipstick. Then I take a brow gel. This is by Merit Beauty, and I help the brows to go up. I want them to go up and over. And she has some substantial brows, so this is just a way to get them under control a bit. This is a contour by Merit. So I'm going to use this under her cheekbones, on the high points of her forehead, and under her jawline, and blend them in gently with my finger. So you can use a brush, obviously, to blend things in, but in this case, I'm just softly blending it in. This can easily look like dirt, so it's really important that you are careful and that you blend it in very well with your fingers or brush or whatever you're using. See, I just softly blend that in. It just adds dimension to her face. So our faces are generally look a little flat, I think, and so if we add a little dimension to them, it is really attractive. Okay, then I'm going to add this eyeshadow called Taylor Gray, and I use the 217 brush and I put it all over her lid. As you can see, I just sort of sweep it, and I use kind of a circular motion with the brush to get that on her lid. I want this to be a smoky eye, but I don't want it to be very dramatic. I want it to look very pretty and soft, but still have a punch to it, because she has this wonderful spiky hair that I love, so I wanted to bring out her eyes. So as you can see, I just keep that on her lid and slightly in the crease area, and I just consistently work that in with the brush until it's even. And as you can see, that really brought out her eye shape. It's beautiful. This is a cream eyeshadow. Then I take a liner. This is a Bobbi Brown Steel Gray liner. It's basically a blue with a little bit of a punch to it. And I use that right next to her lashes, and I just work that into her lash area. I put a lot in there. I really want this to be very dense because we're doing a smoky look. So I want the eye to be more dramatic than if it's just a basic brown liner. So blue works really well on her with her hair color. She also has kind of a green eye. Maybe it's more of a hazel eye. And that blue really works to make that pop. So as you can see, I just gently work that in. I just go at it. And I think this is the hardest thing for a lot of women, is to really take your time on this area to get it to where you want it. But look at the difference. It really pops her eyes. Now I'm using K Mango. This is a very cheap eyeshadow palette. I think I got it for $10 here in Ecuador. It is actually, I think, $20 on Amazon. Very cheap. It actually didn't fall too terribly much. I put the tissue underneath her eye like that because I was worried it was going to fall a lot under her eye, and it actually didn't. It actually was a pretty good palette. for being so inexpensive. But I love the color range. I love this blue eyeshadow that I put on top of the liner. And I just use a blender brush, and as you can see, wow, really popped that eyeliner. So she has the density of the pencil, and she has the color of the eyeshadow on top of it. So I'm layering. Look at that. It really is beautiful on her. So bringing out her eye shape, her eye color, works with her hair color. Now I'm using a very light kind of sheer color called Papacito. They're all in Spanish, which is super fun. And I just lightly put that over the top. I don't want it to be super glittery. This has a little bit of a shine to it, which I like. I think sometimes too much glitter doesn't work, although she doesn't have crepey lids. She could definitely wear it. I just softly put that over the top of her lid with a big brush. All right, then we're going to use another blue-gray, a dark blue-gray, but not quite so strong as the color I put right next to her lashes. And I'm using that right in her crease. So it's a fairly dark color in blue-gray. So I'm just darkening up that crease area a little bit. As you can see, we've just layered slowly but surely for this more smoky look. And look at that, really beautiful, really makes her eyes punch. I use that same crease color underneath her eye with a 226 brush by MAC. And I just lightly put that underneath her eye. I just want a little bit more dimension. I don't want it to be very thick. It's a very, very thin line. Here's a little pink lipstick. I love just a soft pink lip with more of a dramatic eye. So this gives it some punch, but it's not overly pink or overly dramatic. One of the questions she had was how to make her lips look bigger. And so I took the lip liner, and you'll watch when we do the lip liner section, but I worked it a little bit beneath your lip line. That's how you make your lips look bigger. I think she doesn't really wear lipstick very much, so this is a great choice, is to put a nice pink. Take your lip liner, like here I'm doing it, just put it underneath your lip line all the way, including on the outer corners of your mouth. And it will really make your lips look a lot bigger, depending on how much further outside the natural line you use. And then I use just a pink blush called Blush Baby. Just adding a little bit of blush. She has really good skin color, so this is just a tiny bit of a punch of color. Nothing too dramatic here because we've got all the attention on her eyes. Then I'm going to use my mascara here. This is Jane Iredale, one of my favorite mascaras. And I just apply a really thick layer of that mascara. I don't like goopy mascara, so this just adds density without being goopy. And here she is, the finished product. This is Chris. She loved it. We had so much fun, and I spiked up her hair a little bit more. Sign up for my newsletter on thebeautyshaman.com for discounts and insider deals. Thank you for watching The Beauty Shaman.